Today, I want to craft the rarest armor in Minecraft. But what is the rarest armor anyway? Out of the 6 material options we have to craft armor, only one can be crafted. And you probably thought netherite armor is the rarest, but in reality it's very popular. You can come to this conclusion just by seeing other players on this server. I haven't seen anyone wearing different armor, so it's because of these two things that I've come to the conclusion that chainmail armor is the rarest. But we can make this armor even rarer than it already is. That's why, to complete this whole adventure, I need to complete 6 more missions, with 5 of them just to make the armor even rarer. And our 6th goal is to build a super secure base to protect this item from being stolen. Since you can't craft chainmail armor, we have 3 ways to get it. Let's test the first method here, which is killing mobs that spawn wearing it. But you need a lot of luck for these items to drop. After 10 minutes of searching and using up more than a stack of rockets, I found the mobs. I found 2 skeletons with a complete armor set. But I didn't get this in time. Maybe we'll have better luck in the nether. That's because you can also find this armor in chests in some structures like fortresses. But this method is also very difficult to get a complete set of armor. And the third option will only be easy thanks to this farm that has already been built on the server. Look at all these emeralds we have here. I'm going to need a lot of emeralds to trade with the villagers. But don't think it'll be easy because each villager will only trade one part of the armor. It's very rare to get a complete set from one villager. After spending some time trading, I managed to get the helmet, pants, and chest plate. Our first mission was completed, which was to get a complete set of chainmail armor. And for sure, this took a lot of work, but to get the rarest armor in Minecraft, we still need to complete 5 more challenges, with the next one being to try to get the rarest blueprint of all. There's less than 1% chance of this item appearing in the chests of ancient cities, and as preparation for our adventure, I took some totems of undying, because these will be important to prevent us from dying. I also got some sugarcane and gunpowder to make fireworks and fly as far as possible to find ancient cities. After finding the coordinates, I started digging down very carefully to avoid falling and taking fall damage. Well, being careful didn't help at all. But now let's start opening all these chests to find that rare blueprint. Guys, I was hopeful it would be on the first try. I started opening all these chests in the ancient city, but I was a bit distracted and I didn't notice that a bunch of wardens were spawning. So you know, I almost died several times. Guys, just 1 heart, help! This took a while, so to speed things up, I'll complete the next challenge, which is to try to get all possible enchantments to put on armor. That's because one of my goals here is also to make god tier armor, and for that we need all the enchantments. So I got our armor, threw it on the enchantment table, and tried to get as many enchantments as this table could give us. Unfortunately, it's not much, guys, but it will help. Okay, I'm going down to Vigil's base because he had a bunch of enchanted books, and I'm going to grab as many as possible to speed up the process. Then I started mixing all the possible books on the anvil until our XP ran out. And after all that work, we didn't even get half of the enchantments we needed. So I'll have to look for other ways to get these enchanted books, and I know the best option for sure is with the villagers. But unfortunately, all of these here already have professions, and we're already traded with them. So I flew out to find a village. When I got there, I started placing lecterns on the ground so they would start trading enchanted books. But here, the villagers also trade enchantments that we don't need. But dealing with it here is much easier. You just have to break the workstation and place it again, and they'll reset the trade. I killed a villager! No. After accidentally killing a villager, I decided to look for another village so the trades wouldn't get too expensive. And since this new village had a lot more villagers, it was much easier to get the enchantments. I'll need 3 of these books here, and after a lot of work trading with these villagers, we're finally just missing 1 more protection book to put on the armor pieces. Look, this one sells it. We're so lucky. So I picked all the books that are possible in this version, and to make the god tier armor, there's still one thing missing. But now I'm going to show you how our exploration in the ancient cities is going. I decided to switch to a different ancient city, and that was definitely the best decision I made. Oh my god, this chest was loaded. Wow, there were 2 golden apples and also the silence blueprint. Since we had a blueprint, I needed some diamonds and also some slate stones to be able to multiply it on the crafting table. Now, if you think we can just come here and combine the 2 pieces, you're wrong, because we need to choose an ore. And among the 9 ore options, we have to put in this armor. The hardest one to get is netherite for sure. So these items right here, I got them in the challenge where I also got this signal. So now we come out here in the desert and use this cactus to get rid of these duplicated items. And to do the new netherite mining, I had to stay at the mob trap. I got a bunch of gunpowder sand and crafted TNTs for us to mine, because our goal now is to get 16 ancient debris. This place right here must have been fully explored, so here's the plan. I'll move far from here so we can mine and create the biggest Minecraft explosion. I'll explode a pack of TNT all at once, guys. And this part isn't too complicated. We just need to dig a tunnel with 2 blocks of height and then place the TNTs, skipping 2 or 3 blocks while jumping. Are you ready for the biggest explosion on this server? I hope it doesn't crash, because if it does, the folks will be pretty upset with me. But here we go. It's starting. Oh, it went so wrong. Wow, I miscalculated. Only 4 TNTs exploded. Let's pretend like nothing happened. Now here goes a pack of TNT exploding. Nope, not again. I'll just blow everything up all at once. Let's get out of here since my plan didn't work out so well. I decided to ignite all the TNTs at once. Yeah, great. Our whole adventure in the Nether only yielded 8 debris. I had to go through the whole process again, being AFK at the farm, and now if I don't get the rest of the debris, I'll go crazy. Crafting TNT, blowing up the Nether, and collecting everything we need. It's no use having such a rare item to keep it in the end chest. So I'm going to create a super secure base for it. Wow, I'm taking damage from the armor. That's crazy. I just want to break this thing. There we go. I did it. I dug 50 blocks to the side so we can stay far away from our base. I broke the beacon and also went to the iron farm to get more ore to set up the beacon somewhere else. I started digging a space to create a super secure room to store our armor. Now here's the deal. I want to line everything with obsidian. The good news is that I won't have to gather all this obsidian by mining it, because right here, there's a chest full of obsidian. I started by placing obsidian on the floor, ceiling, and walls with a double layer. This is to ensure that no one will enter our base. But of course, just using obsidian isn't enough. That's why I need to get one more thing to increase the protection of this place. For now, this is just a bubble elevator. Creating the teleporter is easy. Put a trapdoor, a redstone wire connected to a button. Now throw an ender pearl down here. And when you press this button, we'll be teleported. Connected to this button here, I'll create the same system so we can exit this room. But our work isn't done yet. This is the ceiling of our room. And now I want to dig a space to put an Elder Guardian. Look, if we go straight in this direction about 500 blocks or so, there's an ocean temple. So just build a huge bridge and a mega rail. It was actually pretty quick because the temple is really close to my base. And it's a straight shot to make it even easier. We're getting there to our base. I'm happy because the creature is coming. Oh my god, I fell off the bridge. It worked on the first try. Nice. I just want to test something. See if the slowness effect happens when we're here. No, it doesn't detect us from this distance. So our base is secure. Another objective completed. And now it's time to upgrade the rarity level of our armor to make it god tier. My first step was to leave an elytra at the map spawn. Returning to my base, I stored all the items in the chests. I left the server and then had to download this map to put it on my PC. Great. Now I just have to log in because we'll have to play a bit in single player mode. Now I realize it might have been easier to leave these items at the spawn, but oh well. I had to go to our XP farm because the goal now is to try to get 100 levels. This farm worked quite well because in just 40 minutes, we reached 100 levels. I thought it would take much longer. So now we're going to take a little trip back in time. And for that, I'll remove all the items from the newer versions of my inventory. I'll only take the enchanted books and the armor that we are going to transform into the forbidden armor of the game. Now, your next step is to enter version 1.14.2 and create a new map if you don't already have one. Then you'll need to open the folder for the 1.20 world, which contains all our items. Next to it, open the folder for the world we just created in version 1.14.2. We're going to copy that level.dat file from the 1.20 world to the 1.14.2 world. You'll notice that the 1.14.2 world is now showing as if it's from 1.20. But don't worry, that's a good sign. It means it worked, and you can now enter your map. And now that we are in the right version, I can craft the god tier armor. To do that, we had to combine multiple enchanted books into the piece of armor we want. But the more enchantments you put on a book or a piece of armor, the more expensive it becomes. Guys, the XP wasn't enough, so I'll have to go back to version 1.14. Returning is easy. Just copy that file from 1.14 to 1.20. Okay, the 1.20 items are still here, but we have a little problem. We couldn't combine everything. The boots are godly, but we could only make those with 100 levels. Since we messed up, I had to go back to the XP farm and get a bunch of levels to finish the rest of the armor. But this time, I'll be careful not to have to keep going back all the time. Let's time travel by transferring the 1.20 file to version 1.14. This time, I got 130 XP levels to avoid going back all the time, because that's too much work. And look, we finally have here the God tier armor. I transferred the files again, and I spawned underground. Now the mission is to take this armor to the server, and to do that, I'll build a nether portal. Put the shulker box there with all the items we want to transfer. I'll transfer the nether from the single player world to the server. Haha, there's a pickaxe. I dropped here and the shulker box we left with the God tier armor. Okay, it worked, folks. Oh, I'm happy, dude. Now it's time to make our God tier armor even rarer. I came here to this table, put the template, also put the armor here. And finally, we got the achievement of making this armor. And look at this. This armor is very, very beautiful. Oh my god. It may not be the strongest, but it's the rarest of them all. Who's crazy enough to make armor like this? Only me. And now comes the test. God tier chainmail armor versus full netherite armor. Let's have a PvP match to see if our armor can win. The rules are as follows. Stop hitting when the opponent's totem breaks. No golden apple allowed, just the totem and the sword. Let me put on my armor here. That's it. 3, 2, 1, let's go! I swear, the result of this armor surprised me. What? If we are using this armor, the only way to beat someone with netherite armor is if the person is without a chest plate. But then, the protections will be the same. That's how I got the rarest armor in Minecraft. I'm going to revamp Minecraft biomes because Mojang hasn't updated them in over 8 years. These guys are so lazy. Of course, for a biome to be in Minecraft, it needs to have terrain, vegetation, and structures. And the first biome picked was desert. I just had a perfect idea for this biome. I want to build an oasis, which is the only place in the desert that has water. Well, at least it should be that way in Minecraft too. Let's pretend that all this water you're seeing here is toxic. Only the oasis water is clean. After planning everything out, I started digging and creating our lake, using ice to start filling it with water. I'm also going to make a secret biome for a Minecraft mob. And the winner is, you'll find out in a moment. Now what I'm going to do is change the entire border of this lake by adding dirt and grass to make it stand out from the regular desert and give a highlight to the build. But we have a problem. My tools are almost broken, and I only have one diamond shovel. But of course, that didn't stop me from starting our project as soon as possible. To add more to this biome, I'm going to build some rocks like this. Perfect! Our biome is taking shape. To make it even better, I started building several of these rocks scattered around the lake. The materials to build a structure are already in my inventory, and from what I grabbed, you might have a little idea of what I'm going to build. Okay, if you don't understand, that's okay. I'm going to create a small shop to put a villager inside, who will sell food since you can't get any food in the desert. Wonderful! The first biome has been revamped. If you liked it, subscribe to the channel now. My idea is to divide this entire desert into several parts to rebuild Minecraft's improved biomes, and the next winner was the Banned Land biome. Perfect. Now we need the blocks to improve this biome. Let's start assembling the beacon. Okay, breaking things quickly is very satisfying, and to give you an idea of the project's size, I've already marked the next biome. But of course, collecting all these terracotta blocks is not enough, since the ground of our biome is made with this red sand here. But collecting it with my shovel won't work very well. That's why I looked for a stronghold. I started making a sand farm so that we could duplicate these items. With the farm ready, it was easy to get all the blocks we need. And after spending 1 hour just on the ground of our biome, I realized I went overboard with the project's size. For visitors' sake, I thought about making some petrified trees in this biome. I'm building these stone trees because my idea is to create a mega volcano in this biome. I roughly marked the volcano shape, and I must admit I didn't like it much. Without wasting time, I grabbed the materials and started building our volcano. And of course, to be a volcano, it has to have a lot of lava. To make our work easier for the volcano, I decided to build a lava farm. So guys, we're still missing a material, which is this dripstone here, as it is essential for our farm to work. work. To make this look like a real volcano, I'm going to have these lava flows that the farm has already produced, flowing down here in the volcano. This actually looks pretty cool. The structure for this biome is going to be an ultra-reinforced bunker. Inside this ultra-reinforced bunker, we're going to dig a hole all the way down to build the place where these folks are going to live. But while I clear space to make the underground construction, I'm going to start on the next biome with you. The next winner was the jungle biome, and instead of continuing to build here, I'm going to take advantage of this piece of the jungle biome right next to the desert. We've got a piece of the jungle biome right here, and to start, I'm going to clear all these trees and also level the terrain to the height of this hole, which is the entrance to my base. Unlike the other biomes, this one I'm going to start by creating the structure. For me, this is the most beautiful and complete biome in Minecraft. But honestly, not everything is perfect, especially because of the structure of this biome, which is small, ugly, cluttered, and you can barely tell it's a temple. So I decided to make my own jungle temple, trying to make it roughly the same size with the same features. Now we need to set up the environment in this place. Look at this awesome jungle temple. I think our biome is a bit empty, so that's why I'm going to build some trees. It's super easy to build these. I just had to grab 23 packs of jungle wood and 37 packs of jungle leaves and spend 2 hours trying to make this tree look even better. But you know, there are still some things to tweak inside our temple, like these secret passages here. And we also need to try to set up some traps. Of course, the secret passage won't have a treasure chest because, after all, the treasure in our temple will be finding a secret base full of beacons, especially this netherite one. What? Someone stole my netherite! I have to make the secret passage. I had to change the inside of the temple completely and create a massive redstone system. Of course, the jungle biome has bamboo, so I decided to do some interior decorating with these items. These levers you see as soon as you enter the temple are also a trap. I hadn't even noticed it would be a trap. I also left several hidden buttons inside the temple that do absolutely nothing, but only one of them opens a secret passage in the floor. Now that the jungle biome is even more perfect, let's draw the next one. And the winner chosen by the relay was the swamp biome. This here is the swamp biome. Honestly, it's a kind of weird biome, and it even has a structure in this biome, which is the witch hut, which I believe is the smallest structure in Minecraft. So that's why for our improved biome, I'm going to revamp this hut. And to make this biome, I'll need to gather some materials. This lily pad, and instead of using grass, which will have this ugly color, I'm going to use moss block for the ground. And luckily, under that tree there, we'll find it. For those who don't know, when you come across an azalea tree randomly placed on your map, all you have to do is dig down here to find the cave. Now that we have the moss block, some problems have arisen. If we try to grow the moss block here in the middle of the sand, absolutely nothing will happen. So the first construction step for this biome was to mark its size and then replace it with blocks that the moss can transform into. So while we were placing blocks, I also had to set up a bone meal farm. I found a mob spawner nearby and started the transformation by building a super simple bone meal farm, one of those you make in the early game. And our work just got a whole lot easier because we can start putting moss on the ground and spread it as much as possible. And the best part is that when we reach this edge here, it won't go past the mark we made since the sand isn't affected. After infecting the entire biome with moss blocks, I started placing buckets on the ground to remove the grass that had grown. And I also took the opportunity to make a stream run through the middle of the biome. Then I planted some trees, but of course the biome structure was still missing. Now let's renovate the witch's hut, which will be ready in the blink of an eye. Didn't work? I made a small hut, but from a distance. You can tell it's a witch's place, and you'd better not get too close. To truly turn it into a swamp biome, a few details are missing, like putting vines on the trees and placing these lily pads in the middle of the water. Other missing details include getting cobweb to put in the house, and we also need to put a guinea pig in there, which is a villager. No! With a villager trapped, I decided to add another detail, which is to scatter dry mud in this biome, since there's so much water here, so there should be mud blocks. With that, the swamp biome is ready, and now I'm going to reveal the next two biomes to you because we're going to build both of them at the same time. The first one is the sniffer biome, the mob you've all been waiting for, and I need to build it with the mob's colors. I also need to bring the mob to live in this biome, not to mention that we also need to build a giant statue. Of course, we'll also create some ambience for the biome. I'm also going to revamp the birch biome, which is this one. Totally ugly and lifeless. And to build a new biome, I need to destroy one to gather resources, of course. After collecting all the blocks, I marked the area for our project and got a little carried away again. All those shulker boxes full of materials we had are running out because we've done a lot of building today. I think to get started, we'll have to destroy a piece of this biome here, gather a lot of saplings and also wood to make custom trees. I also need to think of some structure to put in this forest since Mojang didn't create any. And relax, I didn't forget the sniffer biome. I was in concrete form, getting green and red concrete, and with the materials in the inventory, I started marking our mega sniffer project. This is definitely going to be the biggest construction in the video, and for the birch biome, we're going to start by making custom trees. And look, this is much better than the ugly Minecraft trees. My goodness. Afterward, I just took the leaves and started putting them on the tree, and look, it looks much better than the one Minecraft built. There's no comparison. I'm going to remove this ugly thing here so we can build more beautiful trees. And look, the magic will be ready in 3, 2, 1, and it's done! Wow, look at all the trees we built here. And this empty space right in the middle, that's where we're going to build a structure of this place. To make the structure I'm thinking of, I need a lot of wool, but it would take forever to collect it from those mobs. Fortunately, a few hours ago, I asked my friend to build a great mob trap here on the map, because with these lines, we can turn everything into wool. So I don't need a wool farm right now. The structure I chose to build in this biome will be kind of a campsite instead of a village with houses. It will have wool tents. I made the ground a bit higher to make it look like this bed is a new type of item for you to sleep on, like at campsites, you know? The sniffer biome was already full of green, and now we're going to build some red mountains to give it a highlight and match its colors. Those shulker boxes were useless, man. I'll need about 20 of red concrete to help me build this thing that helps me wet concrete much faster. Of course, I also made a lot of progress in the birch biome. It looks pretty good now. Imagine having a giant bear that attacks the campers. But that's up to Mojang. Look, this birch forest looks beautiful. As we progress with the sniffer project, I'm going to draw another biome to build along with it. The lucky draw this time is Savannah. Of course, I marked the area again and filled it with grass. And since the Savannah biome is entirely this color, literally it will fit perfectly with our project. To do this Savannah project, we'll need wood, but I'll use jungle wood to build the tree because I think it's prettier. I know it will take more materials, but I want to build the tree with this wood, which has bark on all 4 sides, oak leaves, oak fences, and some stones. Then I just put it all together and made a small tree that resembles the savannah, but much more beautiful. Wow, I'm getting good at building trees in Minecraft. Seriously! I decided to further expand the giant sniffer project. And of course we need to get a sniffer to live in this biome, so that was my next mission. To get the sniffer we need a feather. It didn't drop. A feather. Cover it! Then we combine all these ingredients in the crafting table, and we have a brush. Now I'm going to fly towards the ocean biomes because our mission now is to find those ocean structures made of sand. Is this an ocean ruin? Wow, it was well hidden. Now I just need to dig up this suspicious sand and hope to find the sniffer. Today was my lucky day because, look, I dug up the first one, and when I went to the second one, we found it. Seriously, I only dug up 2 suspicious areas, and there we got it, the sniffer! This was the easiest task in this video. I arrived in the biome, put moss on the ground, and placed the sniffer egg on top. While it doesn't hatch, I'll try to finish both biomes at the same time. Since the savannah is kinda dangerous, instead of building a structure for people to live in, I decided to create natural structures, like some rocks and a little pond in the middle, as it's a biome with very muted colors. I decided to make a dry tree that has lost all its leaves. I didn't like it. It's better to break it. This is just too ugly. I decided to make several trees following the same style as the first one I made, and the result was incredible. Just spread bone meal around to make the biome look more beautiful, and in Minecraft, it's not just about structures. Here we also need to add some mobs. And for the savannah, I had some ideas. In 3, 2, 1, a cow. Look at this! I added a lion and an elephant since it's the savannah biome. That's right, Minecraft needs both peaceful and aggressive mobs. The game needs challenges and much more life, of course. I named a sign with a subscriber's name from the channel and placed a witch that appeared while I was building. I took the opportunity to put another subscriber's name on the sniffer. For the vegetation in this biome, I decided to make some mushrooms using red and green concrete. Oh, and of course, I filled the volcano with lava and added more flowing lava to make it look nicer inside our bunker. The result looks like this. The civilization has everything it needs to survive in it, and that's the day I renovated Minecraft biomes. There are 29 structures in Minecraft, and today I'm going to renovate 8 of them, ranging from the most recent to the oldest, which practically only changed the texture. Wow, now that's what I call time travel. The first structure on our list is the pillager post. I realized that it is divided into 2 parts. The base, which is ultra reinforced, and the tower part. And this here is the basis that I imagined for this construction. A small, ultra reinforced wall using the same materials as the original construction, and with all this protection. The door here in this building will be made of wood, because after all, they're not very intelligent. This way, at least it looks like a more reinforced base. Inside here, you have an enchantment table, a room with chests, furnaces. This will be the bedroom. A prison with some cells for the allays, and iron golems to be trapped. I'll just need to go to the stone farm, get some materials, and also go to the dark oak wood forest, so we can cut down some trees, and also take the opportunity to collect some leaves. Gathering all the materials, I started building our tower, and I didn't want to make it too high, so it wouldn't look too different from the original. And our improved tower looks like this for now, but I think there are some details missing. I even picked up some dark oak leaves here, but I forgot that here in the desert they completely lose their color, and that's why I decided to get some azalea leaves here. And now I'm going to start decorating it all, putting this leaf that is very green to highlight this construction. And everything will be ready in 3, 2, 1, and that's the Pulse to Minecraft Looters, a 5 out of 10. And this here is the reformed structure that I made with you. I would give it an 8 out of 10. And now we move on to the next structure on our list, which is the igloo. And this wheel here will define the style of our construction. And the winner was Castle. Oh my god, guys, how am I going to turn this into a castle? And this igloo here hides a secret. If you go down the stairs, you will find a small laboratory. I'm going to try to add all these features to our new igloo and even turn it into a castle. I already had a little idea of what to do in this direction here that has a snow biome. I'm going to do this construction there because I think it will make more sense. The biome is not that big, but it is enough for us to build. I had to make the ground a little fatter since our building is going to be a little big. I will get almost all the materials to make this construction with this snowman here. Wow, if everything was this easy, right? Oh, what is this? After getting the materials, I had to rack my brains to think, how am I going to make an igloo and a castle at the same time? Look guys, I built the shape of an igloo here, and I've already left the markings to make some castle towers. So we will mix these two constructions and create the style that the wheel decided on. And I accidentally killed our assistant here. Not intentionally. The structure looks like this. The only problem is that it is 100% white, and the only block that I believe gives a nice highlight and makes sense is to use the ice block. Exactly. I'm going to get these ices from below. No one will notice. I had a cool idea. I'm going to take these ice blocks and try to make some spikes, like the ones we have here in the Minecraft biome. Wow, these turned out better than I thought. Okay, I really liked it. Now just replicate this from here in all these other towers. With that external part, we are doing very well, but in addition to making these towers, I need to add more details to make it look even more like a castle, and also build the internal part. Now we need to do the internal part here. I'm going to take more or less the middle of this entire igloo, and now we're going to have to make a small staircase going down a little bit to create the laboratory that exists in the original igloo. I came here to the end to get some concrete, black and yellow concrete materials, and taking advantage of the fact that I'm here, I'm going to a city at the end to get those sticks at the end. Here in the middle of the room, I'm going to place this atrium and also a nice book. This is the Mad Scientist book, where he writes down all the experiments and their results. I'm going to put a chest full of gold and golden apples, like what we find in the igloo, and our prisoners here. Instead of villagers, I'm going to put some snowmen. This one will be headless, and the other one will be with a head. I started by covering the holes in the floor, because now I'm going to do the internal decoration like the original igloo. Inside there's a bed, a furnace, and a secret passage that leads to the laboratory. And we're going to do all that here too. This here is the igloo that we created. I think it was an 8.5 out of 10, and this here is the inside of our igloo. The next structure on our list is the abandoned portal, and the building style drawn was amethyst. So our construction will be a bit of a mix of two structures. Well, at least the materials are very easy for us to get. I'm going to get these crystals here. 80% of the materials to make this construction are in here. Now I just need some gold. But I looked in my chest and I literally only have these 10 bars. Or not. The The place I want to build is right up front, and this is the last time this portal will be this ugly. I will need you, my dear. Who is angry with me? Come here. Look, I have quality gold. I only need obsidian and weeping obsidian. Exactly this item here. Now here I want to make an amethyst geode, but it won't be round like in Minecraft. I'm going to make it a little flat, but it will remind me a lot of an amethyst geode from Minecraft. It will look cool. Problem is that I don't think it will fit perfectly here on this mountain, but we will solve one problem at a time. Wow, placing these blocks is so satisfying. They make a really nice noise. Now all we need to do is get back here and access this portal. Also, with these remaining amethysts, I'm going to cover this back part here so we don't go straight through. You get out of here, creeper. I just built this business here. This here was my nether portal before my transformation. A 0 out of 10. And this one is a renovated portal that I made here with you. A 9 out of 10. I thought this was very beautiful. And the next structure on our list is the desert pyramid. I want to do this construction literally here in the desert, which is next to spawn, and also next to the first structure that we renovated here in this video. And of course, to build this construction, I will need a lot of sandstone. And luckily, I have already planned a desert, and this chest is full of sand. Now, as there will be a space between the building and the ground, I'm going to make a well-decorated wall here. I didn't define the pattern well, but I thought of something more or less in this style. I have already created a base of our construction, and in front of it, I will build 2 sphinxes, and they will have the face of a villager. That is, they will have a giant nose. And with all those materials from the chest, we literally managed to do almost the entire construction. Wow, every project should be that easy. My sandstones are gone. The good thing about this is that I already have a form of sand here. We just need to replace these blocks with sand. We still need to build a wall to make this beautiful, with a large staircase, and also the internal part of this temple. While I finish this structure, let's move on to the next one on our list, which is the sunken boats. No, it's not this one, guys. I made this one. It's Noah's Ark. I'm talking about these abandoned boats here that are sometimes so destroyed that they don't even resemble a boat. But they do have some chests, and sometimes a cool treasure comes along, which wasn't the case here. These abandoned boats were once entire boats used by some looters, so I'm going to build a brand new version. It's right here in this little lake. I want to build a pirate ship as if it were heading towards the map's spawn, willing to destroy literally everything. And I'm going to remove this little island from here because it's interfering with my workspace. And the wood I'm going to use to make this boat will be whatever wood is available here on this farm. There aren't any, so there won't be a boat. Relax, I'm joking. I took the farm and collected 2 types of wood, pine and also oak. I started building the boat, but then I forgot to record again. And I had to do a time lapse in Creativo. This is a copy of the map. This is the original server. Guys, you thought I was using Creativo, right? Now what's missing here is for us to finish this boat and make the sails. And the closest thing we have to that here in Minecraft is wool. But I don't have a wool farm. I just have a super efficient mob trap that has threads, and with these lines we can craft wool. I spent a while in our mob trap to get the thread and turn it into wool, but that wasn't enough. I went to my chest room, took some red wool that I had, and managed to paint it white. With these materials, I was able to make the boat sail, which made our construction very beautiful. So I went to the pillager outpost that is close to my base, took a pillager, and put it inside the boat. Then I bought some labels with the villages, but the names of those registered, and then put them on the pillagers that are inside the boat. Furthermore, I also finished the construction of the pyramid wall and the interior decoration. Our pyramid scored 9.5 out of 10. I found it very beautiful, and our pirate ship was a 9 out of 10. And with that, the next structure on our list is spawner. And of course, I'm not going to reform any spawner here on the map. I'm going to choose exactly this one, which is the only XP farm I have here yet. And one thing I'm going to improve here is this entrance, which takes us almost a minute to get down here. And then when you get here, everything is very cramped and small, and the spawner is well hidden back here. The style of construction that we are going to do in this place is that of a dungeon inspired by those Minecraft mods. But to carry out this renovation, I will need to dig a large space here, and that'll take a while. While I'm digging the space to make this dungeon, I'm going to try to advance the next structure on our list, which is the abandoned mines. And as incredible as it may seem, this one was one of the few structures recently renovated by Mojang. And I kinda liked it, because there are several of these bridges hanging here by these iron chains, and there are also some supports with this raw wood. The renovation was small, but I think it looks really nice. Despite the renovation, the structure presents a major problem: the difficulty of finding it. So that's why I decided to make a custom entrance for this abandoned mine here, to make it easier for us to find it. I thought about making a mixture of sand and stone, as if the stone was consuming this place. I'm going to leave a chest here full of carts. There will be some rails here that I'm going to lay now. Then I'm going to take the cart, we're going to get down here, and here I'm already dug a hole to the cave. Wow, we take fall damage, what the hell? And when you get here, you can already see the mine that I'm going to connect some paths to up there. After you get to this part, you'll get off the cart, and you'll have to walk, because after all, the tracks here don't need to work because the mine is abandoned. So getting in here now is pretty easy. To get out, my friend, if you don't have an elytra, you're screwed. I started by decorating the lower part of the mine, which will indicate that there is a structure there. This would make our first explorations much easier. Mojang should definitely add this to the game. I think someone got stuck in the cart, right? I just saw that the gravel here didn't look so good. It would have been better if we had placed stones. Okay, I'll solve this in 3, 2, 1. This is the entrance to the mine that we created. I would give it a 7 out of 10 rating. Phew, after a long time, I got the space for us to create the dungeon and decorate the spawner. I already started decorating the spawner because I couldn't bear to take any more arrows from these skeletons that ended up being spawned. One important thing that we need to fix is the entrance to this place, which I'm going to do right here. I'm going to dig a 3x3 tunnel up there. I'm always in favor of identifying underground structures, and here in the mob spawner project, it will be no different. Up here, I want to build some ruins, and down here, I even made some changes. There's a bubble elevator here to help you get out of there. For those who don't have elytra, and here is the slaughterhouse with the chests. Wow, finally the dungeon was ready, but it was very big with many empty spaces. So I want you to comment here what I can build in this room to complement the decor. And making this ruin was the easiest thing in the world since I have a stone and wood farm. Look, these ruins here look really cool, and I was a little inspired by those mod packs that have these towers, ruins, dungeons. Now we move on to the next structure on our list, which is the witch's house. I've even renovated a witch's house here in Minecraft, and it's right here in front of me, but it was very different from the style of the original witch's house here in the game. So that's why I'm going to fly in that direction and head to the nearest swamp to build a Minecraft-style witch house. But I'll do it much better. Great! We are already in a gigantic swamp, and just to remember and see the shape, the witch's house is very small and only uses 3 different materials. I made the witch's house more or less the size of the original, but I decided to add some more materials to create details. And that's how I improved 8 structures here in Minecraft. See, Mojang? Learn with me. Today, I want to build a massive ark to trap all the mobs in Minecraft. And of course, I'm not just gonna capture the mobs here in the overworld, like these cows, for example. I'm gonna try to capture mobs from all 3 dimensions of the game to bring them all here to our ark. So get your snacks ready, because we're going to have to travel through all the biomes to collect these mobs. Our little project is 150 blocks long, 38 blocks wide, and 34 blocks high. And that's because each mob's cage is gonna be customized according to the biome they live in. And now I realize I'm building an ark way bigger than Noah's in the project.
Dude, I can't believe it, man. I didn't do anything.
You're gonna kill me! Stop! Stop!
You are messing up my video.
I was just getting wood to build this ark. I have a chest full of wood right there. Stop it! My friend threatened to blow up my whole project, but don't worry, I'll explain everything in a bit. Of course, to make our job easier, our goal is to build some farms to move this project forward. I'm gonna also have to gather resources to bring the mobs and explore all the biomes. It was time for us to make a small aquarium. We just filled it with water, then added sand and some corals. Underneath the ark, there's the coral biome where we find these fish. So catching them will be really easy, and we could spend a lot of time here. That's because there are thousands of these tropical fish in Minecraft, so we'll only catch the ones I come across here. I found 7 different types of tropical fish. Actually, it was 6 types, and the pufferfish, these little guys here that can poison you. Ouch! We're heading to the cold ocean biome because here we find cod and salmon, and the video just cut out of the game. I'll use this time to get a head start on the ark, and I'll explain everything to you in a bit. I went to the jungle biome and captured 2 ocelots. I also found a red parrot and then a blue one. And in the swamp biome, I gathered the blocks to build a custom enclosure because in this biome, we'll be able to use them. We'll need slime balls to breed them. Alright, now that they've laid their eggs here, we have to wait for these creatures to turn into tadpoles. Since the Ark is right next to us, I'll take these creatures over there to make it easier. Easier? Not at all. I've been trying for 20 minutes to get this frog into this enclosure, but it keeps jumping out. I waited a long time for these tadpoles to hatch, and now it's just a matter of scooping them up with a bucket. If we put one frog in the snow and the other in the plain biome, they'll be born in different colors. After a long wait, the frogs started to hatch, and they really came out in different colors. This is crazy. I also need to collect these snow blocks to make the custom enclosure for the mountain biome. In the mountain biome, we also find goats, so I took the opportunity to grab 2 and bring them to our Ark. Of course, we can't make a mountain here, so I'll add some ice and snow. I think it's turned out perfect. The goat jumps really high, so I'll put a fence down here and tie them up. I think that should be enough to keep them from escaping the enclosure. I'll have to do the same thing with these frogs. Look at how many there are. I also created the custom desert enclosure, and of course we can't forget these dry bushes in our desert. Using the elytra, I bought over the rabbits, and unfortunately, the biomes nearby are already running out. There are 5 types of rabbits, and I only managed to catch 2 types, so we need to go after the others too. Here's me building a village house. Then it's time to bring these big-nosed guys over, so I'll put both of them on this boat. Now I'm going to craft a fishing rod, and I'll put the boat with it. That's much faster. But hold on, I had another idea. I'll put the fishing rod on the boat. Now I'll stack a bunch of blocks and try to pull it up onto the Ark. Oh my goodness, it went flying. That was awesome! And the part that went all wrong was when my friend decided to spy on me and steal my project. I didn't even know where this was.
You are going to make a custom biome just like I am doing here. Whoever finishes first can destroy the other's project.
I don't back down from a challenge, so I accept. While I was explaining the project for the video, he was spying on me and stole my idea before I even started it.
I'm going to make a zoo with custom enclosures and then fight him in there.
What a sneaky guy! He's also building a custom enclosure for the mob. I can't believe this. Great. He just left the game, so I'll take this time to upgrade my Ark. And now I've started building the walls of the Ark because we're going to start building the second floor, which will be reserved for storing all the Minecraft monsters. Because after all, they're also mobs, so let's capture them all. The only problem with all of this is that aggressive mobs catch fire when morning comes. So the solution is that I've already built the next floor to have a roof here so they don't die. I built the walls of the Ark and also the floor of the 3rd floor that I won't reveal yet what kind of mob we're going to trap here. And the burning question, how did I get so much material? To make this project, we're going to need 2 materials in large quantities. Stone to make the custom enclosures, and also a lot of wood to make the Ark, and the decorations inside it. I chose this desert here to build one form next to the other. It's good that I'll be able to farm 2 materials at the same time to speed up the process. I already placed all the materials inside so we can start building. I placed chests, hoppers, and then started making a giant platform to collect all the blocks. Now is the moment of truth. I'm going to climb up on the farm and pull this lever to see if the system will work, and okay, seems to be all good. No TNT blew up the entire redstone system. I'm pretty happy about that. The wind storage system was pretty bad because the farm produces a lot of blocks, so I tried to improve it by increasing the number of chests. Now, about here, I want to build a wood farm to build the Ark because we're going to need a lot of it. And the next 2 mobs are the easiest of all because we can just put them in the enclosure. I swear, guys, all mobs could be like this. And the tree farm I want to build has to be able to farm both oak wood and spruce wood. I got the tutorial for this farm on YouTube, and I'll give credit at the end of the video for anyone who wants to build it. To make it work, we need to fill all the empty slots in our inventory with any block. In the first slot of the hotbar, we'll put bone meal, and in the second end, we'll put the saplings. And the person who made this farm also taught a really cool way to make it work automatically. You just need to right-click and then press F3T. Then the game will reload the textures, and magically the farm works on its own. Now that you know where all this material is coming from, I want to build a cave here because we're going to put the bat, which is the only peaceful mob that lives inside caves. I'll even decorate it by placing some ores. This is the only cage I'm going to do this for. I'm going to do a kind of decoration here on the wall. I'll put glass up here. That's because the bat flies and I don't want it to get out of our capsule. But the bat is an extremely annoying mob to put in this cage. I'll need to dig a tunnel down connecting this cage to a cave where bats spawn. That's because the bat is the buggiest mob in the game. We can't catch it with a leash. We can't put it in a boat, and we also can't reel it in with a fishing rod. So I'll have to come here in this cave and try to lure these bats into the tube we built. And the only way to do that is by placing a block in front of them. Alright, it worked! They're starting to climb now. I mean, if we keep placing blocks here. The problem is this creature has a totally crazy behavior. And believe it or not, such a small mob is giving us so much trouble. This here is my bat progress bar. In the meantime, we'll try to capture other mobs. It was time to also build the cages on the second floor for the monsters to spawn. Like a creeper here. I might even rename it. Wonderful! Now I think we're missing some ores, so I came here in this cave to grab some. And since all the mobs live in the cave, I'm going to try to represent the various types of caves in each small cage we build. Remove all these torches here so the creatures can spawn, and I managed to capture 2 zombies that were born here inside. I can't believe it! We're at 30% progress with the bat. This is going to take forever. I've been here for 30 minutes and we haven't even reached halfway yet. I just built this bridge here in the Ark to make it easier to bring land animals. I also built the beacon there, because now inside the Ark, I'm going to do a small renovation. I decided to break the middle cages so we have a mega corridor where you can see all the mobs side by side. I also started building a staircase to connect the 2 floors, since the only way to get in here before was to break the Ark. And to be able to see into all the cages, I added a glass panel in front. And to make our Ark even more beautiful, I decided to build some bridges over the cages. This is the most beautiful floor! This renovation definitely did a lot of good here. The problem is that there are still a lot of empty cages, because we're missing a lot of peaceful mobs that we need to catch. And my friends, after doing all this, we were finally bringing the bats into their cages. We made it! We made it! Wow, where's the other one? Oh, there it is. I need to craft some leashes here because I saw that in this savanna biome, several types of cats have been born. We'll catch this one and also this one. I've already captured 4 different cats here, but our goal is to catch 11 types. So this is not going to be easy either. My goodness, why do I have these ideas? Since I found these cats in a savanna mountain, I decided to build several mini savanna biomes to put them inside the Ark. Since they're not tamed, I'm going to leave them locked up here for now until I get the cod to tame them. So I'm bringing in 2 more types of mobs, which are the sheep and the chickens. I can cover it up and you guys can roam free. I don't think you'll be able to escape. Now, leaving the first floor of the Ark and going to the second, we need to work here because we're missing a lot of aggressive mobs. I used the strategy of removing all the lighting to make a bunch of mobs spawn inside the cages. It worked! Now we just need to rename these creatures very carefully, of course. Dealing with these aggressive mobs is not easy, but after a lot of struggle, I managed to trap the spiders in the right cage. How could I forget? When I went to get the bat, I said it was the only peaceful mob that lives in caves. But actually, there are also axolotls. We already have the brown variation here, which is the channel's pet. We also have the yellow variation here, which, by the way, this one is a little baby. It's actually rare to get baby mobs, and we also have the pink axolotl, and we can still find 2 more colors, which are blue and purple. But I think they didn't spawn in this cave this time. I built the biome for the axolotls, which is the lush cave. Alright, now our axolotls are protected. After that, I took the opportunity to renovate the monster floor to make it look as nice as the first floor we made. I also started building 2 staircases so we can go up to the bridges and see the cages from above. Now, after the renovation, the second floor looks much better, and since there's more space left here, I even managed to build a little staircase on both sides. But of course, this side of the Ark here is all empty. That's because we're going to use it to put the nether mobs here too. While I synchronize the portals to try to bring in the nether mobs, we'll be able to get other easy to catch mobs from the overworld. Heading in this direction, I think there's a pillager outpost, and if I'm not mistaken, there are some villagers trapped right there. I'll grab these 2 allies and start pulling them, so if I start flying, they'll come with me. Great. Where's their cage? I made a special cage for them right here. Wow, but I made a really silly mistake. I forgot to cover the top part. They're flying mobs. How could I forget that? Okay, stay in there. Please don't escape. Okay. I went back to the jungle next to the Ark because there are still some mobs missing from this biome. Pandas are born here in this biome, and we might find some here. Problem is that it's very hard to see because this biome is kind of cluttered. I started by creating a customized cage for the panda, putting pots and grass, and also bamboo on the ground. The coolest thing is that I managed to bring 2 pandas at once. I steered the boat for one and started pulling the other with a fishing rod. If I say that I caught 2 pandas today, nobody will believe me. With that, 1 more mob is trapped in our Ark. I got 2 more types of parrots and put them in the cage with a panda. Another mob that's nearby are the squids, and I still haven't caught them. So I'll make a special cage here. As a bonus, we got 2 dolphins, and with that, we captured 2 more types of mobs. Back here, there's a village, and look, a camel was born right in front of us. I'm just going to go go into the village to see if there's another camel for us to capture, and maybe some other type of cat. Look at that! I don't have time to see you rest. I took the opportunity to build a cage and then trap the camel inside. Right behind the ark, we find a plains biome where there are some mobs that we still haven't captured, and also this donkey. The coolest thing is that if we feed the horse and the donkey using a golden apple, we'll get a new type of mob too. And then I'll put them in a cage next to here, because that one is already pretty full. Now we're only missing a few cages on the first floor to complete them. On the first floor, there are only 5 empty cages that I'll decorate now. And we built the biomes for taiga, snowy taiga, normal taiga, and also ice biome. This place we found is perfect because it has the ice biome, and right in front, there's a whole family of polar bears that we haven't captured yet. I grabbed the cubs because they're not aggressive. I took the 2 polar bears to the nether and they brought them to the portal where our tree is. It was a long journey, I know, but now you're here in your new home. I also managed to capture the white fox and the orange fox. I also went to a mushroom island to get 3 mushrooms. Now we're going to need to capture several cave mobs for this. I dug a hole in the ground and then built a bridge connecting this hole to our ark. To bring the mobs, I'm going to use the bubble elevator. So I started filling this whole tube with water. That's because we need to capture the glow squid, which only spawns in these completely dark caves. And let me tell you, it wasn't an easy task because this squid is very glitchy, and it just moves in whatever direction it wants, even when we're pulling it with a leash. Perfect. Now the glow squids are trapped. Let me just cover this floor here so they don't escape. We also need to bring in these slimes, but I'll just kill them here. Leave them tiny because the small ones don't hit us. I threw some slimes into the bubble elevator we built after they went up. It was easy because I had built the bridge, which helped a lot. But these creatures are really slow. I think even the turtle is faster.
In 10 hours, we'll decide who the winner of this competition is.
What? Only 3 hours? Okay, I'll hurry then. 3 hours from now, starting now. To help trap the right aggressive mobs, I created a bow to be able to kill the useless mobs from a distance. For that, I used the skeleton farm we have. I know it's not very good, but it was enough. And to get 4 types of mobs, we'll need a trident. And I was very lucky and got it on the first try. Wow, I almost died. This creature is really strong. I went to the XP farm because we need to add the channeling enchantment to release lightning when we throw this trident. The enchantment I need came through. I added the mending enchantment and then went back to the farm to repair the trident 100%, so there's no chance of it breaking. Wow, I almost died. Now we're going to trap the drowned. For this, I built a mini ocean biome and then lured 2 zombies in there. That's because the zombie can't swim and ends up drowning and turning into a drowned. And look at this husk. He decided to come to our Noah's Ark all by himself. I swear I didn't expect this. So there's no cage prepared yet. I'll have to keep building while he keeps hitting me. Hey guys, it started raining. Could it be a thunderstorm? I think the trident only summons lightning if we hit a mob, right? Ah, that's right. Okay, so it's a thunderstorm. I need to make the most of this, bro. I'm going up to the Ark because there are some mobs we can get with this rain. The first mob that needs rain is down here. All right, I turned the 2 villagers into witches. Oh my god, it worked, right? We have 2 charged creepers. These creatures can't explode at all because otherwise the damage will be massive. Oh, the cow died. Okay, but at least we still have 1. I took the mushroom cow inside the Ark. Today in Minecraft, some special mobs spawn that only appear once a year. Every October 31st, they show up on the maps. Now it was time to trap as many pumpkin-headed mobs as possible, especially the glowing ones because they're a bit rarer. We made huge progress because I trapped phantoms and a lot of pumpkin-headed mobs and glowing pumpkin-headed mobs. We got about 9 of them. Here, I even made another protective grid because there's a risk of these creatures here exploding, especially these ones, which have a much bigger explosion, so it's best not to get too close. And since we had only 1 more hour available, I farmed some wood and finished our Ark. I found the video again and we went to his zoo to count how many mobs he had. Hey, Virgil, by my count there were 38 mobs. Is that right?
That's right.
Just by the size of the project, you can tell we won. I trapped over 60 mobs inside this Ark. Goodbye. This right here is the channel's pet for over a year, and he's really special to me. So today I decided to build a nice and secure base for him. The only problem is that my enemy just stole him from inside the last construction I made here on the map, Noah's Ark. Virgil, what are you doing here? Where's a chocolatado? You just steal him. Come back here. He's my pet. What do you want to do with him? Why did you want to kill my little pet? It doesn't make sense. And this chase lasted about 5 minutes. And what happened? You'll find soon. The important thing is that 24 hours before, I was preparing for this whole war. Okay, just found the perfect place to build our pet space. Unfortunately, I have to travel 20,000 blocks to get here. Under that mountain, we have this gigantic cave. Here I'm going to build a base for my pet. But to make this place safe, we'll have to set up some security systems. Yeah, don't think it's going to be that easy to reach my cave. That's because there will be several secret passages, and the first one I'm going to make is using powder snow. Alright, now we'll need leather boots. The best way to find powder snow is to walk over this mountain without the leather boots. Oh, I just found it here. Look, see? We're all freezing. Now our goal is to build a fake base to make him think I'm hiding some rare item inside. I even brought something in the shulker box that we're going to place here to serve as a distraction. Just like this base, this armor is also fake. Of course, I'm not going to put the rare armor here. Easy to find. And with that, we created the first fake base to fool my enemy. Now I'm going to build 2 more rooms below this one to serve as a distraction until we reach the real axolotl base. Hey, don't tell anyone, but I'm going to put the trap in the middle of the path. But to get to the next room, we're going to build a password-protected door. For that, I'll open up some space here for us to build a system. Wow, I just remembered a problem. I didn't bring redstone to make the system. I'm trying not to cry. Yeah, I had to walk over 20,000 blocks just to go back to my base and get more items. But when I got to my base, I had a surprise. My enemy was there waiting for me. But that's not important right now because you need to know how that chase ended. Oh my god, you are Electro broke. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. I just won my pet. Perfect! He really didn't give up searching for my pet. He continued looking for my axolotl everywhere. But what are you going to do in my base? To ensure that my enemy won't find the location of my base, I brewed some invisibility potions. Went back there to set up a redstone system that will take us to the next room. And this is the coolest system I've ever seen. It's an automatic door with a password, so only I will be able to open it, and the editor too, right? And to set the password for this system, I need to rename an item and put it here in this first slot. And I took a little time to open up the space for the next room, which is going to be much larger than the first. I started digging a hole in the middle of the room and also enlarging its size because this is going to be our next security system. Another thing we'll need is to get 2 more axolotls, preferably 2 little brown ones, the color of the channel's pet. Now I'm going to need these tropical fish to breed the axolotls. All of this is because in the middle of this room, I want to build a tub full of brown axolotls, making our pet much safer. And I know I could rename these axolotls on the anvil. But since our XP farm is far away, I'll just use the name tag. For now, to enter the base, you need to come through this soft snow slide down here. And you land right on this water block. So looking around the room, you won't find anything suspicious. There are just some chests with the items I left here. But in this barrel, if you put a bunch of items, you can put anything here. Nothing will literally happen. But this little piece of paper in my inventory is a password I created. The editor will blur it out so you can't see. And when I put it in there, a secret passage will open here. This is the second secret passage we created. And if you notice, we ended up in another passage full of buttons. Most of them do nothing, but 2 of them work. But if you press the right button, that will open and you'll end up in this fake axolotl room. Yes, and now for this room, I want to build a giant brown axolotl on the wall. So I had to collect some materials, wool for making string, cocoa beans to make brown dye to color the wool. I also needed some plain terracotta, brown mushrooms, and to disguise it, I also built a small chest room. The idea is to deceive our enemy. So my next step here is to build a secret passage, but it has to be very easy for him to pass, because instead of leading to the axolotl cave, it will lead straight to a trap. In the corner of the room, I'll place some buttons. Most of them won't do anything, but one of them will work and open a secret passage right here. So now I just need to dig a tunnel. Great, this tunnel is already perfect, but we need to dig about 70 blocks deep. That's because the creature we're going to put here for the trap is kinda noisy, and it's so loud that you need to be 70 blocks away to not hear it. After it falls into the hole, it will be too late to escape, and our trap will surely work very well. Now I've prepared my redstone skills to make a super compact automatic door here. I'll have to find a way to hide it because the whole system will literally be in the wall row. So I'll have to add some detail on this side and also on that side. And it's very easy to make this door. I just have to dig about 3 blocks down here, and all the materials are right here in my inventory. It's literally that simple. The system isn't that difficult, but I spent a good amount of time because redstone isn't really my strong suit. I think it's not working. There we go. I tried to figure out how to disguise the system without it looking too weird. And what if I told you that in this room there's a secret passage, and then you'll guess what it is? Anyone would walk into this room, see all the decorative buttons here, and start pressing them, but only one of them actually works. So I found the secret passage that's not impossible. After a few seconds, if you press the right button, a secret passage will open on one side. Then you just gotta run out of here. I made it through. I almost didn't make it. Finding this place is super easy. Tunnel here will take me straight to a trap. Thought I was gonna die, huh? Now down here, I'm setting up a trap, but I need to clear some space. So I grab my pickaxe and start digging. But then a problem pops up. My tools are almost broken, so I had to leave where I was and fly to the map spawn to go to our XP farm and try to fix everything. Okay, look. We're getting into a familiar area. There's my building, and over here is our farm. I have to be really careful because, darn, I'm down to half a heart. No, 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 no. My elytra broke. No, no, no. You can't get it. I logged out of the game. Okay, no one's on the server. It's a great time for us to log back in. My God, I almost died to him. We need to be very careful. He really is angry and wants to kill my pet at all costs, so we need to protect him really well. I repaired all my tools and my elytra, then I went to my chest room to get some invisibility potions, immortality totems, food, moss, block, and also bone, because there are still 2 objectives left for us to accomplish in this video. The Warden's room, which is a distraction trap, and also my pet's true base, where he'll be safe. So let's get started. Let's transform this cave into our axolotl secret lair, and for the secret cave to be safe, the only way to get in here has to be through the secret passage. That's why I'm going to build several walls of red concrete here. This way, my enemy will be sure that this is a protected area, and they won't be able to break any blocks to get in, or else they'd be breaking the server rules, and I could ban them. Now that I've sealed off all the entrances, I'll take bone meal and moss block, place them on the ground, and turn this entire biome into a lush cave. And I need to light it up too, right? Because these creatures hitting me won't work out. I started spreading moss throughout the entire cave since axolotls live in lush cave. I wanted to make this one a bit more similar to this biome. My idea is to build a big pyramid inside this cave, and the materials I'll need are redstone bricks, cobblestone, moss, and site. This is a cobblestone farm, but I also need stone bricks and smooth stone, so I'll have to smelt them. Let's build an industrial furnace here. Well, I created this machine based on my redstone knowledge, so maybe this isn't the best way to do it. The only issue here would be the fuel, right? If we fly in this direction, we'll meet the map spawn. And exactly there, in that volcano, I built a lava farm. Alright, now we just need to fill this chest with lava, and the fuel won't run out anytime soon. I can't believe it! Ah! With this mega automatic furnace, we just need to turn on the farm, and our materials are ready. Great. Now that everything is sealed here, I'll grab the shulker box and start building my axolotl's true base. Actually, it's going to be a really beautiful pyramid, so I'll start marking the square here. I won't go breaking the cave to make it flat for construction. I'll fit the building in the middle of this cave. And do you remember this corridor? In one of these walls, I'll create a secret passage to go to the axolotl's cave. There will also be an option to go down here through this hole that leads straight to a trap. I've already opened up the space to create the room where we'll set up this trap. Let me tell you something. Building here with these creatures is extremely annoying. While I'm placing blocks, witches and creepers keep showing up. They even destroyed part of the biome. Seriously, this is so frustrating. To solve this problem once and for all, I'll place a bunch of torches here to light it up. Torches will solve our problem. Can't believe mobs are still spawning here. And I decided to speed up building this place because our enemy found the first secret base. He might have found the first secret passage here, but the thing is, he doesn't know how to get through here yet. Actually, not sure if he even suspects my axolotl is here. So we just need to enter the password, go in, hit the right button, pass through the secret passage, and now hit the right button again. Now in this corridor, I'll create another secret passage to reach Axolotl's real base, because next to it, I'm making a lava curtain. I'm also replacing all this floor with stone to make it look better, putting rails and a minecart on the bottom. If I put the lava here, our secret passage will be hidden. Look in the right place, right click, and I can cross the lava without taking damage. I headed to the cave coordinates and started digging a giant tunnel. After a long tunnel, we'll reach this cave. Not to mention when he dies, he'll have a dozen monsters waiting to kill him, just like I'm about to die. Help! But the important thing is right here, I'll hide a button that will activate a redstone system to take us down. Ow, ow, oh, 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 help! And down here, I'll build that good old teleporter because it's a great way to enter a place with no door. The real way to enter Axolotl's cave is by pressing this button I disguised in the middle of the cave. And after a while, we're teleported inside the pyramid. Since everything here is literally closed, he won't get in without breaking a server rule. And of course, I didn't forget my trap. I set up the warden's room, then just brought them here. But it was definitely a tough mission. Wow. Just realized I'm without the immortality totem. Luckily, I killed the spawn inside the fake axolotl cave. Okay, it won't be that hard to get down there. Now, I just need to descend without taking damage. Nice. Did the MLG and hope my items haven't disappeared or I'll cry. I see something ahead, my items. The bad news is the warden is gone. I'll have to go get another one. Man, we were almost here, but at least I didn't lose anything, I think. Now it's gonna work, guys. Run! No, 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 no! I'm almost there! We made it! We made it! Now what I need to do before the warden gets here is dig down, place the observer like this. Now place another observer like this. Eat the apple. Help! Run! Now that these wardens are stuck here, we can finally put my pet in its safe place. Oh, forgot to show you how the pyramids turned out. And look at this! Tried to make it look like an axolotl face on top to represent that this is my pet's base. Even if my enemy gets into this part where I am, there's no entrance inside, only using the teleporter. So I need to leave this cave and go to where the button is. And now, my pet now has a safe place to live. Today I'm going to hunt down all the Minecraft bosses here in the end.
But if the dragon is alive, we can't use this portal to get out of here.
Okay, that's gonna be a problem.
How did you figure out the dragon and the portal are connected down there?
Everyone knows that when we spawn the Ender Dragon, the portal is sealed, so I had no other option but to use my smarts. How can I keep the end portal active with the dragon alive? The important thing is that I found a bug that will make it possible, and the first boss we're gonna catch is the Wither boss. To get it, I'm gonna need 3 Wither skeleton skulls. And check this out, I just killed 2 here, and none of them dropped heads. But on this server, we've got something that can help me. Look at the size of this farm. It's insane. For those who don't know, this here is a skeleton skulls farm. I'm gonna tackle the bosses from easiest to hardest, and for us, it's gonna be easy. Look at all the mobs here. While I'm here killing wither skeletons to get the first boss, I need to address another issue. To learn the item, I'm gonna need some materials, like obsidian, a stone cutter, and a water bucket. Oh my god, a pack of wither skeleton skulls. Our problem solved. So I don't recommend doing it near buildings that can be broken. First, you're gonna place obsidian on the ground in a little square. In the middle, you'll put the stone cutter. Then go up 5 blocks and put a head upside down. It should be about 3 blocks away. Then you'll put some glass like this. It's also a good idea to break this bridge so these endermen don't teleport here, because if they catch the wither's attention, it'll cause a lot of problems. Then you'll pull 9 blocks to the side and start making a square of soul sand. You'll create a small platform to trap an iron golem. And now we're gonna turn that soul sand into a giant pool. Now the idea is to summon the wither here and hope everything goes right. After you spawn the wither, you need to quickly put a water bucket on its head. In my case, I don't do it, and our first attempt failed. Just don't mess it up because it'll work. I even made an obsidian cage to make it really look like he's trapped without affecting the whole system here. The golem's there, looking good, and now we have to be super quick to spawn this creature and run away. So we put the blocks here. The most awaited moment of all, subscribe to the channel to help the wither stay trapped. Perfect. We can even remove the water bucket. There you go. I'm gonna rename the wither with the name of a random commenter on the channel. With this, our first boss is trapped. Now, I want to trap the warden in the direction of this portal here. So I started building the bridge. The problem is that I had to descend a few blocks. So I kinda had to dive into the void using the elytra to place a block under the bridge. I'll try to make the cage somewhat similar to what we have for the wither. And bro, look at this zoom. Now I need some iron bars. Luckily, there's this mega farm here, so it's easy to get them. Now that I have 1,000,000 iron bars, it'll be easy to do this. I started making the cage to keep the creature trapped. I've even separated the items inside this red shulker box so we can create a system that keeps the warden from disappearing. Basically, we'll put an observer looking at each other like this, piston here pointed upwards. So now I have to fly around here and find some deep dark to bring the warden. To be honest, I know a place that's full of wardens, which is this chest room here. Apparently, Vigil hasn't taken any of them out yet. I'm gonna find a way to attract a warden out here. I think to make it easier, what I'm gonna do is dig down here. Of course, we can't forget the water bucket here. And from what I saw in the coordinates, if we go straight in this direction, we'll reach the stronghold. Since the tunnel has been dug, we gotta throw Warden in here. To do that, I'm gonna make a tunnel here, 3 blocks high, and put a trapdoor on this block so he can't fall. I think the plan is perfect. The plan was good, but Warden is a super annoying creature, so he kept killing me several times. I mean, I only didn't die because of the totem, but after a while, I got it. Since Warden was in the hall we dug, it was easy. He followed me. I walked forward until I reached the stronghold. It wasn't easy, actually, because I spent a long time trying to get Warden inside the gate. I even used up all my totems of undying, and I had to go to the raid farm to get more totem. But then, just when I was about to give up, this happened. Oh, I swear, I was so afraid of the Warden falling off that bridge because I forgot to make it a bit wider. But luckily, this creature is incredibly smart, and we managed to trap him. Now, I'm going to pick another subscriber's name to put on Warden. The next mission is to rename this Warden without him noticing. I'm going to sneak up quietly here in the shift. This is kind of tough. One more boss is trapped, and now we're off to the next one. But before we trap our next boss there, I'll have to break this whole bridge so they won't bother Warden. Otherwise, they'll keep teleporting a bunch of Endermen here, and it'll be a mess. I started building the bridge to bring the Elder Guardian. Look, there's obsidian in these chests, which will be really useful for making the next cages. I returned to the overworld because the goal now was to get the Elder Guardian. But when I look at the end portal, I notice there's a Warden there. Did Warden duplicate when he fell into the portal? Please die there. The idea was to stand there until Warden disappeared so he could bring the next boss. But then, a participant tried to go to the end and came face to face with the Warden, and he almost died. We have an unexplored Ocean Temple, so I can bring this creature here. I had to build the Elder Guardian cage in the end following the same pattern. Iron bars and obsidian. Then I had to fill it with water, since the Guardian lives in the water. To transport the Elder Guardian, we'll need some items like regular rails, powered rails, detector rails, levers, and mine carts. The Ocean Temple is in that direction, so I'll have to start making a massive rail system to connect everything. Thought I was gonna speed things up? Well, it's so easy when things are sped up. After finishing the rail path, I started making a protection, so the Guardian falls right into the portal. I also used the detector rail and activator rail to make a system for it to automatically exit the minecart. I flew to the Ocean Temple and used TNT to get inside. And here comes the tricky part. Putting this creature in the minecart, pushing it onto the rails. It took a long time. Guys, it's working! Finally, after a wild cart ride, I was really excited that things were going well, but then everything went wrong. Push it! Good. It gained speed. No! It still dropped the thing, bro. To make it even more secure, I made a tube that drops down to the portal, and I also made a capsule for it to be trapped after it leaves the minecart. Now, there's no way it can go wrong. To make sure it won't take any fall damage, I'm going to put water here. Then I remembered the small detail that I hadn't made the rail in the end. So, I'm back at the temple, and the struggle continues. Let's put another Guardian in the minecart. Ah! Oh my goodness, it works! The creature stayed inside. I'm a Minecraft genius. I placed it in the minecart, now I just have to push it onto the rails. After a lot of effort, I was happy because I finally made it to the end with this creature. But then the joy was short-lived. I think I might cry. I won't cry just yet because we still have the last Elder Guardian from this temple. If it dies, it's over. I'll have to find another temple far away. My goodness, please let it work. Okay, it passed again. Let's not celebrate yet. I'll only celebrate when it's inside the cage. I closed the top of the cage to ensure it won't escape midway. Another name tag with another subscriber's name, and with great care, I renamed this creature. Done. Another boss is captured. And now we're off to the Ender Dragon, the biggest challenge of this video. This is the regular end of any survival map, and this is the end of the server. What a mess is this? This end is all messed up. I want to clear it completely to exploit the dragon glitch. It'll be much harder with all these blocks lying around, so it's better to break everything now. To make all these changes in the end, I'll need a beacon first. Now I'll head to the iron farm to gather a bunch of iron and craft the blocks. My goodness, what a racket those golems are making. And of course, I can't forget to grab some sponges, so I'll explore this temple real quick. I used TNT to clear a path, and since we were slowness in effect, I had to use TNT to break trees too. Then I crafted a bucket, drank milk to get rid of the effect, got some wood, crafted doors, and that's when we could finally explore and defeat the bosses in this temple to get the sponges. So after getting all the materials, I set up the beacon and started breaking all these loose blocks here in the middle of nowhere. Oh guys, I had an idea. I want you to comment on what I can build here in the end, since there won't be any construction here. The subscriber with the best idea will appear in my next video. After breaking all the blocks, I started drying up all this water. Who came up with this idea? My goodness. Thankfully, there's no more water in the end. Now, everything's normal here, and the mission is to break all this stuff. This was the worst part of all because breaking glass in Minecraft is quite challenging. It takes a long time, and even with haste, we can't break it faster. Before reviving the dragon, I decided to build a cage first, because doing it with the dragon alive would be much harder. You know, materials weren't a problem, because here we have an iron farm, and someone kindly broke several obsidian towers. The first step to doing the dragon glitch is to place a bunch of blocks at height 200, exactly at these coordinates, and the pattern will look something like this. I got it wrong. Actually, I was supposed to use a block that the dragon can't break. Now that I've placed the concrete, it'll stay like this. Ready? We can respawn the dragon. You have to place all the blocks at these exact coordinates. If you mess up one, the glitch won't work. The goal now is to break all the crystals, leaving only one, and we'll avoid damaging the dragon. Alright, and once I break the last crystal, the dragon will simply freeze to make our job easier. I'll wait for it to fly near one of the end city portals so we can break it. This glitch is really cool, and the best part is that it works on a server. So if you want to do it with your friends, there's no problem. If it doesn't freeze instantly, just wait a little. Eventually it will. Now the goal is to throw this dragon into the end city portal. To move it, believe it or not, we're going to use pistons and blocks. Just that. If you have plenty of slime on your map, you can also make a flying machine. Be careful not to get too close to the dragon. It can still damage you. We froze it, but it's still angry. This dragon glitch may seem super difficult, but it's actually quite simple. It just takes a long time to do and to understand the tutorial. I spent a long time trying to do this on the test map. You saw that the glitched dragon disappeared. Now we'll hang around here until another dragon spawns in the gate. It'll take about 2 or 3 minutes to realize that the Ender Dragon is no longer on this island. And when it figures that out, it'll spawn another dragon. Look, it just spawned. Our difficult mission will be to defeat this creature. My goodness. This Ender Dragon here also froze. That wasn't supposed to happen. Anyway, the important thing is that we need to defeat it. I'll stand down here. And it bugged, so it's even easier this way. And we beat Minecraft! Let's enter the portal where we toss the dragon. I'm not sure if it's this or this one. I'll try this one. It's this one indeed. Look, our dragon is here. Now it's going to try to return to its island. So you'll have to follow it flying with your elytra. Don't get too close or it'll damage you. Luckily, the island is pretty close. The dragon is already heading back, and notice how it always comes down here. That's normal. If your end is normal, if it's not broken like this, it'll take a few minutes for it to be able to ascend. Oops, it's working. The dragon is going to be bugged there indefinitely. Nice one, guys. Now that the dragon is 100% inside our cage, I need to block this water here so it doesn't flow down below.
How did you learn about the dragon, and why is the portal still open down there?
Oh, that's a long story. So today I'm going to create the villages that Minecraft left out of the game, or rather they never created. Each village will have its own special touch that I'll add because villages change the layout. That's what I'm going to do too, because if Mojang did it, why shouldn't I be lazy, guys? I'm going to build a big circle here in the middle of this ocean. We're only going to rebuild 8 villages that Minecraft didn't create. And of course, it'll all be decided by this roulette wheel that's showing up here on my side. I started opening all the chests in my base to gather as much stone as possible for us to do this project. I made the skeleton of the circle, which was definitely the hardest part. After that, it was just closing it all up with stone. The next step was dividing our giant tub into 8 slices like pizza. Now, I need to remove all this water from inside the construction area. To make the process easier, I'll divide it into several corridors, all made of sand and about 3 or 4 blocks wide to make drying everything with sponges easier. The whole time for this whole thing was about 8 hours to make the circle and full dry it so we can start the construction. But things got a little bit more complicated for me because someone showed up challenging me to complete this project in just 12 hours, or else you'd steal my rarest item, the God Armor. At first I didn't accept the challenge, but he kept following me and trying to kill me while I was AFK, so I decided to accept it. We'll try to build 8 villages in just 12 hours. I'm happy he issued this challenge after I made this giant pizza, or else there wouldn't be enough time. 12 hours is way too little. And now let's draw the first biome to find out which village will be in this slice. The first winner was the jungle. To build all this, I'd need some essential materials from the jungle biome, starting with grass. I took the opportunity to create the terrain in our pizza slice. it'll be slightly inclined and slope down gradually. I also hope to gather some wood to build the houses on top of the trees. The rest of the materials were just for making the trees grow so I could build on them. One small detail is that everything here will be hollow because I want to save time collecting materials. The problem is that a bunch of creatures are spawning, and they might blow everything up. Just let me know if these creatures break the blocks. I decided to make a circular house under the jungle tree leaves. It's not very big, but there's enough space to fit everything that exists in Minecraft villages. And to connect these houses, I thought about making some bridges with campfires and also with jungle wood. This part was a bit tricky since I had to take damage from the campfires, but after a while the result turned out pretty cool. The only thing I'm going to do here to complete the biome is to place some bone meal on the ground to give it a bit more texture. Now inside the houses, I'll put crafting tables and workbenches. Now we just need to bring the villagers because a village without villagers doesn't make any sense. And the coolest thing is that there's a special jungle village. I even have one here. I think it'll be better to place it in the middle of the ocean in our new village. I put him in a boat and I threw the boat into the water. It won't be hard to transport the villagers to this place since our construction is right in the middle of the ocean. I started making a bamboo tube because here I'm going to create a bubble elevator to transport the villagers up to the trees and leave them inside the houses. And to make the elevator go faster, I used some algae to turn everything into infinite water. And if you like the first village, subscribe to the channel and comment which village you'd like to have on your map. Now just push the villager back to his home, and the next randomly selected biome was Badland Biome. I literally don't have any blocks for this biome, so I'll need a beacon to help me out. And if I were to try to get another beacon today, I definitely wouldn't be able to complete the village challenge. But I know there's a beacon around here somewhere. Look, I've even got the effect already. I literally won't steal this, just borrowing. This beacon probably belongs to Nathan, so as soon as he joins the server, I'll give it back to him. I'm going to set up the beacon around this height because I'll be able to gather all the blocks we need from sand to colored terracotta. I'll set a goal of 40 minutes to gather materials, and then we'll head to construction so we won't be lacking anything. Everything here needs to be timed, so we won't have enough time to complete our challenge. So I'm back to our giant pizza. I started creating the relief of this biome. I'm going to face the challenge of building a mountain here, since the biome is somewhat mountainous. My idea for the village is this. We'll have some square houses, not too big to follow the Minecraft pattern. I'll use the blocks from the biome itself to build a village, and then to add some details, I'll use oak log. Okay, I confess I didn't like that house I made, so I decided to start another one from scratch, using more sandstone and the orange terracotta that's typical of the biome. I added some details like hay blocks and also some crops beside the house. Alright, this looks really nice. I outdid myself in this little village. Okay, I admit the houses are kinda roofless. I've already placed 2 villagers here, and I've lit up this area well to avoid any risk of creatures spawning. Now let's draw for the next village. And the winner is the Cherry Blossom Biome. I didn't have any blocks from this biome, so I had to go and get some saplings, these new flowers, and of course, plenty of wood to build the houses. The grass was left over from the other biomes I had already built, so I didn't need to gather more. I also had the idea of making the terrain uneven, but not as much as the Badland Biome. After placing the soil in this whole area, I started planting some trees and scattering some flowers, but then I realized this tree is a bit crooked. So instead of planting them all, I decided to start building the cherry blossom houses and then count the trees in the remaining spaces. I know, I'm a genius, thank you very much. Alright, I might be exaggerating the size of these houses here, but trust me, they're going to turn out really nice. After about 50 minutes of work in this cherry blossom village, we managed to get it to look like this. It's really beautiful, and we didn't take as much time as I thought. But let's hustle, there's a lot to be done today. I went to try again, and this time the winner was the Mangrove Swamp Biome, which was recently added to Minecraft. I had a bit of trouble finding this biome, so it took me a little while to get there. I collected all the available blocks, the mud, saplings, wood, and dried leaves. I picked some wheat so we could make dried mud. That's the block I decided to use for the houses in this biome. I made some markings with grass and also created some little ponds, then covered everything with mud, since that's the ground in this biome. Instead of making them grow with bone meal, I decided to start building the Mangrove Swamp house. I'm pretty sure it's going to turn out nice because I've always wanted to build with these blocks. I put a lot of effort into it, and honestly, I think this one is the most beautiful house we've built so far. I've made considerable progress here in the Mangrove Swamp village. I went a bit overboard with the size of this house, so these other two will be smaller to make it a village. Because a village with just one house doesn't exist, guys. I had to build the houses quite close to the wall because of the space, so you'll only have a rough idea of what the entrance would look like. The mangrove swamp village turned out like this, and now that this one's complete, I drew again from the next biome. And the winner was the birch forest. It's a bit of a challenge. I just have to clear out my inventory and shulker boxes. To be honest, I've never built with this type of wood before, so it'll be a challenge even for me. I had to gather a lot of birch log, since we'll use it for practically the entire village consumption. After getting plenty of wood, I came to the conclusion that the diorite block would complement this type of wood perfectly. So I went into the caves to pick some stone for contrast in these constructions. I started the biome by placing grass on the ground. I planted some birch trees, and then I decided to begin building the houses. For me, it was a big challenge to build using these blocks because in all my years playing Minecraft, I never built anything with them. This one turned out really well. This village looks really beautiful. It just needs a bit more lighting. I remember that some villages have these lighting posts, so I decided to make my version of it using these new signs and these lamps. This village is really cute. It turned out amazing. Now I'll have to create a village for the mushroom fields biome. After quite some time flying, I finally managed to find a mushroom island. I hadn't been to this biome on the server yet. I only came here because of this block, because you can get the mushrooms in another biome. If it weren't for my mycelium block, I would have already started building the village. I grabbed about 8 stacks of this block. Then I took the opportunity to grab some brown and red mushrooms for building the houses. Unlike the other biomes, this one will be completely flat, so we can make the most of it and build a village. I filled everything with this block, which honestly, I don't even know how to pronounce. Then it was time for us to start building, but I had a big doubt. I'm not really sure what to build here on this island, because every time I searched on Google for mushroom house, all that comes up is literally a mushroom with a door, and I didn't want to make something like that. I wanted to make a giant mushroom and try to fit a house in it, kinda like a tree house, but on a mushroom. But it might look a bit weird, to be honest. Yeah, break it all and start over. It looks awful. What I decided in the end was to make a house like the ones in the other biomes we've built, but use the mushroom blocks for their roof. To be honest, this wasn't my best construction, but I ended up running out of ideas. I ended up breaking and redoing this house several times, until I found a shape that somewhat matched what I wanted. For each village, I don't know if you noticed, I tried to improvise 2 types of houses, one larger and one very small, but always keeping the same theme. After a long time of work, this was the result of our mushroom village. I tried to make some houses with brown roofs and others with red roofs. After that, I drew for the next 2 biomes that we have to build here today. The next biome is called Stone Shore. Anyway, I have a really cool idea that I think will go perfectly with this ugly biome. Guess what? I didn't have any stone to build this biome, so I had to set up the beacon and dig a cave to get a block, since I used all my stone blocks to make the tub to build the villages. And here's me putting down lots of grass, even though the biome is literally all stone. I only realized this after I'd finished putting down all the grass. Now that I fixed my mistake, I'll start the construction here. I'm thinking of making something like a pyramid, but it can't be too big because we don't have that much space. I think it's going to be a construction with cobblestone, stone brick, and mossy stone brick. It'll look cool. So my idea was to have a village made up of several tiny pyramids. But since the space we chose for construction is small, we couldn't build more than 1 pyramid. But let's pretend there are a lot of pyramids here, forming a really unique village. The idea was to have some libraries in here, chests with good items, beds, and also to have some ore blocks in the structure. For building this terrain here, I have a big idea. You might find it strange, but I'm going to recreate another jungle, but this time with the new items from version 1.20. In this version, they put a lot of different items that we can craft with bamboo. Thanks to one of the participants, we have a super efficient farm here. With the help of a crafting table, we can make bamboo planks. This wood has planks that can be used to make slabs, stairs, and everything you can make with regular wood. I decided to use my creativity. I didn't look up any references anywhere, and I just started building until I could turn this bunch of blocks into a beautiful house for a village. If someone wants to give some building lessons, I think I'm open to it because, guys, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll get there. This place will become a house someday. I made a master move here and added a detail to the front. That means an internal space just got bigger, so the houses won't be so tiny inside. Of course, to be a jungle, it needs some trees, so I'll plant them in the remaining spaces. Well, there's not much left, guys. I still need to do a lot of construction here to fill in this pizza slice. The best news is that we completed this challenge and still have 40 minutes left. Thanks to that, I won't lose my god tier armor that's here all intact. Yeah, Pokerudo, if you want this armor, you'll have to get it another way. For someone who didn't know so much about buildings, this village turned out pretty nice. But in your opinion, what kind of village do you think Minecraft should add? Comment comment below, leave your like, and goodbye.